Hi everyone. I have some herbs that I'm going to plant this morning, and I thought that I would bring you along with my journey. So it's the strawberry moon, so I'm wearing my strawberry. Can you see it? It's so fun. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my herb garden with you, and I knew that I had some herbs to plant this morning, so I thought it would be fun to take you along. So last weekend I went to the Thyme Garden in Alsea and picked up some herbs, and I've planted a few here and there, but now these are more concentrated in the in the terrace where the herb garden is, the medicine garden. A couple of herbs will not be going in there, and they'll be going into the vegetable garden area. So one of those is the basil. I have two different basils, a holy basil and a Genovese. That's not a basil. And this is what you want if you want to make pesto. So, but what will be going in there is, I think all of these. I bought a bay leaf tree, which will not be going in there because it's going somewhere else. And okay, I think that's all here. Oh, I did want to show you really quick because it's super fun, and it is the strawberry moon. So all of my native strawberries are going gangbusters. This area over here doesn't have a whole lot of flowers. Can you see this flower? Yeah. Little flowers. The native Oregon strawberry doesn't really produce very good strawberries. They're little tiny guys. They're super sweet. If you could get to them before the birds do. But they make a fantastic ground cover, and I just let it grow wild. It's fine. It suits my personal taste. Not everybody wants to let them go wild. Let's see how I can take this down with me without stopping the video. See how creative I am. Okay, turns out I'm not that creative. So just walk down to the lower garden with me. This view is much better than, just staring at my face as I'm walking down. You can see my wall of purple rhodies in the lower garden are, well, one is in full bloom, one is in almost full bloom, and one is just starting to bloom. I wish they would all bloom at once because it would be a really powerful statement, but they like to take turns and be glorious individually. I really love this one because when you get up close to it, you can see this beautiful little pattern, and it's just on the upper part of each flower. It's got this really fantastic leopard splash in her throat, which is kind of fun. And then I don't know if the one in the middle is so high. It's taller than my house. You can't, and there's no flowers low. So here's the other one, and it also has that fun little splash, but it's a much lighter color rhodie. So quick glimpse, here's our shade garden. All Spencer's hostas. We have a stilby, bear's breeches, gunnera. You see the big giant, you can see this big giant leaf back there, gunnera. This is going into the second summer, so really fun. And then we have the herb garden. Whoa. Okay, now we have the herb garden, and I've shown you lots of pictures of these before, but this is the terrace that we built last winter, and it's been planted out, but it's time to plant more. So right now in the herb garden, we'll start one side and just move around. So we have a holly tree that was here, and it was completely covering the entire porch when we moved in, and now I just kind of keep it small, and it does it does get its little berries in the wintertime, which I enjoy using for wreaths and that kind of thing. And it does have some medicinal properties that I do not use, and it has a lot of magical properties from way back when the Druids were really big on holly. So that's just kind of a little fun fact. We have Crocosmia right here. This is just a native orange Crocosmia. It doesn't stand up very tall, and it's not a fantastic specimen, but I really love the leaf structure in here, and I do like using them in flower arrangements. And then right here, this little mound right here is oregano, just a species oregano. And then right here we have a lavender. This is an English lavender, I think. Yeah, it's an English lavender. And then over here I have another oregano. This is a ground cover oregano, so it won't get any taller than that. This one will get taller than my Crocosmia. It just gets huge. Next to it we have mullein, and then over here we have cranesbill geranium, and then you could see kind of peeking up right here behind this lavender there is some Spanish lavender right here, which I'm going to need to move because I had no idea this green lavender was going to get like this huge bush. And it's just a little bit interesting. It has green, well, I mean, technically it's white, little tiny flowers, but the overall effect is that the flowers are green, and it's called a green lavender. So, and then so we have the species oregano, the ground cover oregano, and then here we have verbena, which is overwintered, and I realize now that maybe I shouldn't let it overwinter and I should just cut it down, because the pieces that came up from where the stalk is nice and strong. The pieces that I let overwinter are like falling down and just like kind of crazy and whatever. And then I have, these are chives. This one is, I'm not sure. I have two different chives. This one is just the regular chive. I have Perella. I just got planted last night. This is why I'm planting my herbs today, because I was letting it sit in the 4-inch pot for too long, and it's like I'm about to lose all the herbs that I bought. So get them in the ground as soon as you can. And then on this side of that part of the terrace, these are garlic chives, and they're not in bloom yet, but there they are. And then on the very lowest tier, I have Corsican mint that you mostly see. The really bright green is Corsican mint, and then this is creeping thyme, and she did really well last summer but died back in the winter, and I'm just not super confident that she's going to come back this year, so I'll probably have to replant that. And then this is my succulent waterfall, and then over on this side of the medicine garden, on the upper tier, I have comfrey, which I just cut back 2/3 of it. It was just out of control huge. Again, cranesbill geranium in the background. And then on the second tier, I just planted lemon balm in a pot, because this is very invasive. So if you want to have lemon balm, put it in a pot, just like pretty much any mint that you want to plant. You want them in a pot, and then you have to like double check all the time on the bottom that you do not have roots coming out, and you get rid of those roots, because they will root and they will come up all over your garden. So be aware of that. I will say that I lived in a house one time that had lemon balm growing wild all over the house, or all over the yard, and every time we mowed, it was pretty amazing, because it smelled like Pledge, like, oh, our backyard is so fresh and clean smelling. And then here I have walking onions, and they're beginning to walk. So what happens is they lean over, and then they root themselves in the ground, and then they'll sprout up again, which is really fun. And then on the end I have golden oregano, which I need to harvest because it's getting really leggy, and I've got kind of a hole in the middle. Although this hole like developed, and I kind of think maybe a cat's been laying in it, a neighbor cat. But it does need to be harvested, so I'll be doing that soon. And then down on the lower tier I have leeks, which are looking fantastic. And then I have a silver Artemisia here. So I wanted to show you how tall these leeks are. Like this one is as tall as I am. I mean, it does have a well, I guess it's a 22-inch advantage, but I mean, seriously, it's so crazy standing next to a leek. It's as tall as I am, which is kind of fun. Anyway, so today I'm planting golden lemon thyme. I do have a Foxley lemon thyme, or Foxley thyme, which is a variegated thyme. And this one has a little bit of variegation too. You can kind of see it. But it has a lemony thyme scent. And then I have a compactus lemon, or compactus thyme, that will go in a pot. And it'll stay kind of small. And the thyme tends to get really leggy for me. I don't know if it's my watering or the area I planted in or whatever, but I'm hoping that using a compacted style of thyme will just, I'll be able to maintain a little bit better and keep it as a perennial, I hope. It is a woody perennial where I live, so. And then this is Echinacea, which this is just one little guy, but when she blooms and I collect seeds, I'll be able to make a whole bunch more of her. And so this is clary sage, but this one is a silver clary sage, and it has a little fuzzy leaf. It's so exciting because I haven't seen that before, so it will get quite large and have prolific blooming, so that's exciting. And then I got an ashwagandha plant, which I'm super excited about because I have ashwagandha in my coffee every single morning, and so if I could start making this medicine myself, or like, you know, grinding up the roots and having it for myself, I don't know if it'll save me money, but it'll feel good. It's not very expensive to buy, so. And then I have white sage, which I'm also really excited about because I do not buy white sage anymore. It is a species that needs to be carefully cultivated, and it's been overly harvested due to commercial. You know, people want it. They've learned that it's really great for cleansing, and that it is a sacred medicine for the indigenous tribes all over our country, but it has now been commercialized to the point of really just, I mean, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to harvest it commercially without growing it in a farm specifically to grow it for smudge sticks. So I stopped buying it. I will buy maybe 2 or 3 bundles at a powwow to support a local tribe and get my smudge sticks, but and all I could do is hope and pray that they're doing that sustainably, that they're harvesting their smudge sticks sustainably and they're not purchasing them commercially, which I have a feeling that they probably do it the right way. I just haven't asked the questions, and I probably should. But if I can grow my own white sage and make my own smudge sticks, then all the better. I do make smudge sticks out of a lot of other herbs. I do lavender and rosemary, and I've done a little bit of oregano. It doesn't hold up in a smudge stick very good. It crumbles really bad. But the rosemary is fantastic, creates lots of smoke, and it holds up really well. So, yeah. I think I'm just gonna get to work and start planting these. So I showed you this terrace already, but I forgot to mention this amazing eucalyptus tree that is growing so well, and it looks so beautiful. My husband and I were admiring it last night. It's got fantastic form, and eventually it's gonna replace this cypress tree. And I had intended to grow a ginkgo on the other side, but now I'm gonna have to buy a 6-foot ginkgo because it's, you know, the eucalyptus grew so fast, and I want one that like matches on the other side, so I better get on that. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with my ashwagandha, and this plant it's also called Indian ginseng, and it will grow 2 or 3 feet tall, and it likes part shade, and it likes a little bit, I think it likes wet feet. I'll have to double check on that, but I do know that it likes part shade. So this side of my terrace is only sunny for about 3 to 4 hours, and then the sun moves. And then so I'm going to put this on the end of the terrace. It is also the widest part of the bottom part of this side of the terrace is the widest part of the west terrace. So I'm going to put it down there because it'll have plenty of room to grow. So most herbs are Mediterranean-based herbs, or most of the herbs that I grow successfully here are Mediterranean-based, and they don't like a lot of fertilizer. Imagine living in like rocky outcrops overlooking the ocean in Italy. They don't want all the extra fertilizer, and so and they grow so good, you don't want to give them the extra fertilizer anyway. So all of my beds are top dressed with compost, so that's all that they're going to receive as far as fertilizer goes. So the next one that I'm going to plant out is the echinacea, which I'm going to put in with my walking onions and just let them self-seed in that bed, because the walking onions will just walk around them, and that'll be fine. Okay, I was going to put it over on that side and realized that the comfrey gets so huge that it'll shade it out, so I needed to put it over on this side so it'll have a little bit more opportunity to grow. I have to decide on where these other ones are going to go. I think I'm going to put this, I need to think about the lemon thyme and the compact thyme. I think those are going to go in pots, which I don't have any extra pots down here, and I'll have to bring them in. Those are going to go in decorative pots, so they actually look really cute and pretty inside of the garden, and they can stay there for a long time. The silver clary sage is actually going to go up by my dahlias because I read that they deter slugs, and I am determined to grow lots of dahlias and not have to fight slugs to the extent that we've been fighting them over the last 2 years. So we'll see how that goes. And then this is my white sage, which I'm going to put up on the top of this terrace, and so it likes a dry, hot desert type environment, which I can barely provide it. But and then in the winter time, I'll probably put a cloche over it to keep it, keep rain off of it and keep it as hot as I can. But this particular white sage does say it's zone 8 to 9, which I'm in zone 9A, so I'm hoping that it works out for me. And but we are pretty rainy, and 9A is like a really strange belt, and it goes through the desert, which is like really super hot, which we don't get those kind of hot summers. But I'm just gonna baby it because I'd love to have it, even if it doesn't produce enough to harvest, just to have this medicine on my land would be a great honor to me. So I'm gonna plant it up there, and I guess it's gonna be the last thing that we're gonna plant today, or at least for this video. This white sage smells so delicious, even though it's only like 2 inches tall. It's crazy. It's like smoky, earthy smell. Okay. We are overran with Buttercup. That's my nemesis for 2020. We were fighting Horsetail, and then we were fighting Morning Glory. Glory is nearly under control. The Horsetail we're barely seeing any of, which is funny because I realized that it's actually medicine, and I didn't really want to get rid of all of it. So Spencer and I agreed that we would keep it in certain areas, and it just hasn't come back. So be aware, like make sure you really want to get rid of things when you're being aggressive, like getting rid of things. This is Buttercup, and it, otherwise known as ranunculus, and I know people purposely grow this and they love it. I have it absolutely everywhere. So I don't know, if you want some, come dig it up, because if I just threw these, they come up really easy, and they've got this great root system, but it comes up pretty fast and easy, especially if the soil's a little bit moist. But I can see that there's like broken off all over the place, so it'll just come up again. But this, if I just throw this on the ground or in my compost pile, it's just gonna grow again. So it has to either go in the garbage or in the burn pile. So that's really fun. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do is water all of these in, and my watering can is upstairs, so I'm not gonna drag you along for that, but thank you for hanging out with me while I planted my herbs this morning, and I will see you in the next video.